In this week's video, it's all about your destination, where you're going to start, where you're going to end up, and why you need to start setting goals. So when you're driving down the road in your car, do you ever have to stop and think about where you're headed? Do you ever think, wow, I have no idea where I'm going? Very rarely. If you're driving in your car, there's a good chance you've got a GPS, you've got a map, you know exactly where your destination is. But for some reason in our own personal lives, we forget about how important it is to have a set goal, an objective for us to aim at. We think that if we just go with the flow and we just kind of hope for the best, take whatever comes our way, that we'll somehow end up achieving something great. And quite the opposite is true. Like it or not, our current actions and our current goals will predict exactly where we will be in 5 years down the road. Jim Rohn says, everyone will arrive. The question is, where? You will either arrive at a well-designed or an undesigned location. If you don't design exactly what you want your life to look like in 5 years, then you won't get what you want. So what type of goals should we be setting? Well, whatever we want. Jim Rohn says goals are simply deciding what we want and writing them down. And you need to be really specific. You need to write down exactly what type of career path you want in 5 years, what kind of person you want to marry, well, how much money you want in your bank account, how much money you want to give away within 5 years. Be really specific. And a lot of times it's scary to set these type of goals because we think, well, now that I write this down, it's set in stone and there goes my life. There goes my options. But that's not exactly how it works, as I'll show you in a little bit. So let's say your goal is to become a dentist, but not just any dentist. In 5 years, you want to become a top-of-the-line, 5-star dentist with your own facilities and lots of employees, whatever you want. So you have that as your 5-year goal. But how do you get to that? Well, you have to have a series of smaller goals that are more easily attainable. Think of them as steps leading up to your eventual long-term goal. You should have 1-month goals, 1-year goals, 2-year goals, 3, and so on. Your 1-month goal is simply to read some books and learn how to become a dentist. In 1 year, you'll do an internship somewhere. In 2 years, you might actually get hired somewhere. 3 years, 4 years, you raise some capital and you actually begin to start your own business, and eventually you hit your big goal. And as you reach these smaller goals, it's going to give you motivation. It's going to push you on because pretty soon you're going to be halfway to your big goal. And along the way, you can make alterations. Remember what I was saying about goals are not set in stone? Well, if you set a 5-year goal, halfway through, you might have to alter course. You might have to go up here or down here instead of there. You have to remember, when you write down your goals, you're not writing your own obituary. This is not something that's set in stone for the rest of your life. As you get started on your journey, you'll find that there'll be plenty of corrections and alterations that will be made. You'll find out that maybe it's easier than you thought and you can go further, or it's harder. Or you might find out being a dentist just wasn't for you, and so you completely change direction. But without that initial goal, you're never going to get started, and you're going to stay down here for the rest of your life, most likely. So as you can see, setting goals is pretty important. Not to lock you into something, but just simply creating a target for you to aim at. If you're a hunter and you're walking through the woods, do you close your eyes, point your gun aimlessly, and just say, I'm going to hope for the best? No, you aim. If you don't aim, you're never going to hit anything. And the problem is, most of us have nothing to aim at. We simply go about our everyday lives, shooting the breeze, whatever happens, happens, and who knows, maybe we'll win the lottery. But if you're like me, you probably have bigger dreams than most people, and that type of mentality won't get you what you want in life. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking some more about setting goals and the mentality that you need in order to believe that your goals are not some distant fairy tale, but actually achievable. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.